Welcome back, guys. How you doing? Gaming Rants episode 2. Hope you enjoyed the first one. Shout out to all my subscribers. Hope you're doing real well and staying safe. And yeah, we're pushing onwards to 1,000. I have set myself a little bit of an ambitious target to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you're watching this, you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that red button and help me out. I would love to get to 1,000, the big 1,000, and then I can have a wee bit of a rest. So, at the time of recording this video, I haven't actually seen your comments from video 1. I haven't. It's actually we're in the future at the moment, and it's not actually posted. So, what I'm thinking of doing is that we do a update video maybe once a month. It just depends on how this series runs, how we go with things, and I'll do an update video covering all your comments, your points of view on the subjects that we've raised, and then hopefully we can generate some more discussion. I think it's very healthy to have good discussion about things that are happening in our lives, in the industry, and whatever. So I've been giving it a lot of thought since the last video, and I think we're going to continue to do subjects that aren't necessarily going to be video industry specific, but in general, it's going to be around the video game industry, developers, YouTube, that kind of stuff. So, if there's anything that you want to me to talk about or cover, just leave a comment down below, and I'm happy to do that. Okay, so moving on to today's subject. And today I am building on what we discussed last week about unfinished games and possible solutions on how to fix that. I kind of came up with the logic that if you involve the gaming community much earlier in the process, then the games may come out a little bit more polished, and we don't have to suffer through 6 or 8 weeks or 6 months or 12 months of updates, constant updates. Because generally what happens with updates is they fix one thing and they break something else. So it can be quite frustrating. If you haven't checked out that video yet, I'll leave a link up there or up there. I'm still getting used to where I should point. And you can get involved in that discussion. Now, before we move on today, though, there is a string on Discord that you can join and have your say with each of the subjects that we raise in Gaming Rants. Discord there's an open invitation down below. So if you want to come across and be part of the community, we will post. You can get involved into the posting in that particular string. So, early access, beta testing. What's the purpose? Well, I've done some research. Yeah, I know it. I know. It's hard to comprehend that I actually do research for this channel, but actually we do. I've done some research, and there's actually what happened to my voice then? I'm not sure. There's actually a wiki page that explains what early access is and what it's all about, and we're probably going to have it across there somewhere in the background, scrolling or doing something. But let me read what their kind of take is on early access and beta testing. So the definition that I've kind of come up with, Wikipedia and a few others, is you are basically providing feedback on a particular game. You're helping to quality control that game and make recommendations on bug fixes and glitches and stuff like that in the final stages of the game's development. Now, I want to acknowledge both Jared McCarthy from Medium Gaming and Mark Searles from Kataku, Australia. I will reference them. Sorry, the other way. Over there, the articles that both those gentlemen have wrote have been very useful in coming up with the content for this particular segment on beta testing. So I will leave a link to both those articles that I came across in case you're interested in reading a little bit further. But yeah, essentially, and I have got notes here, so just give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I think Jared McCarthy sums it up for me the best. He refers to beta testing basically is something to do an advanced stage of the game's development to resolve bugs and glitches. And this is really where I want to talk about things today. As you know, we love playing betas on this channel. Absolutely love them. I do. I do like getting early access to games and being able to help the developers um, improve what they're doing. And I think we should at this point talk about closed betas versus open betas, because I think I'm really struggling with the companies that are putting out betas that are public betas and whether they are actually follow the definition that I've been able to find, i.e., that they want help to fix bugs and glitches. And the reason I say that is because some of these betas, if we look at Marvel Avengers, for instance, that beta dropped about a week or 2 weeks before the game launched. And so I really do question, is that a genuine attempt at a beta to fix bugs, or is it a marketing tool to get you involved and maybe put your hand in your pocket to buy the game? We'll look at that subject a little bit closer in a minute. But closed betas, I think, are much more close to the description that we're giving. And I don't know how many of you have been involved in closed betas. I'd love to know down below, or in Discord or on Twitter. But I certainly know I've been involved in a number of closed beta testing programs. Of course, there's non-disclosure agreements that go along with those closed betas. You can't actually release footage from those until the devs say they can, and they will ask you for feedback, and it's part of being part of the program. If I think back to some of the games that I've tested with Ubisoft, after the testing is finished, you will get a link to a questionnaire, and it can take you 20 to 30 minutes to fill it in. It is quite comprehensive. I think it was Ghost Recon's Wildlands or Ghost Recon Breakpoint, or one of those that I did that for. And let me tell you, I'm quite happy to do that for the companies. Having the fact that when you do a closed beta, for those of you that don't know how the closed beta works, generally what happens is you register your interest with the company. The company will then make a determination whether it wants you to do testing, and then they will send you a code that you enter in, and you get access to that closed beta. Part of that is that you must understand that when you do that, you are under an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, and that will differ from company to company to company. Majority of the time, you're not allowed to post images or footage or anything online or leak anything as part of that process. And also, there is an expectation that you give very detailed feedback to the development company after you've played the game. And as I said, I'm always happy to do that. I love being part of the process of getting a game and being able to help with the development of that game. So to supplement the complexity of building a game these days, I've got a few things that I want to raise, and it's around the timing of specifically public access betas rather than the closed beta program. Obviously, alphas and betas, and especially closed alphas and betas, are no doubt targeted at genuinely improving the game that people are developing, that companies are developing. The public betas, I've got no doubt, are also in part there to help the developers fix their game or improve or tweak or fine tune their game. There's a couple of things that I would say though, that to supplement why I am suspicious of these betas that are put out, public betas that are put out very close to launch. We live in a very complicated world these days as far as games go. I said before, yeah, we've made the joke about how old I am and the dinosaurs and everything, and you're probably going to see a dinosaur graphic again, just you have a chuckle. But yeah, pretty much games were developed over a long period of time in the past, and they were put out. But having said that, they were put out, and if they were buggy, they were buggy. If they weren't, they weren't. That's what it was. Uh, Having said that, there wasn't the level of complexity in gaming then as there is now, and I'm talking about the fact that we live in a world of servers and modems and online um, capabilities for games, and that will be a subject I want to cover in a later video. But so I'm not going to go too far into it. So there's all that complexity that a game that I play in Australia might be different to a game that somebody else plays in a different part of Australia or in the US or the UK or wherever, given what kind of capabilities they've got as far as internet speeds go, modems, etc. And the developers have to balance all those kind of things out before they launch. The other thing is that with beta programs, they collect a heck of a lot of information and data, a lot of data, a lot of information, plus that's supplemented by us as gamers, giving them feedback on the game. So they've got a lot of information to process um, when they run a beta program. And I apologise for my voice today. I don't know what's going on. I seem to be getting a dry throat a lot. So I'm drinking a lot of water there. It's very good, very important to hydrate. So drink water, guys. Very important to lubricate your old tonsils. So yeah, I question why you would release a beta virtually so close to a full game launch. It's near impossible, given all the data you're going to get from the beta program or beta testing, to go through that all in 1 or 2 weeks, make all the necessary tweaks, and have the game ready for launch. We talked about last week a number of games that it was clear when we done the beta testing they were nowhere near ready for market. There was so many bugs and problems and things that needed to be tweaked. And if I look at Fallout 76 for instance, and I'm not picking on any particular developer or game, it's just one I can speak to and I know and I've played a lot. That has taken 12 months to get to the point it needed to be beyond launch. So yeah, I really do question why gaming companies, are running public betas so close to their final launch platform. Now, as I said in last week's video, I have a background in sales and marketing, and let me let you in on a little secret about a sales technique, and this is where I think this is a marketing thing, not a game developers thing with some betas. I'm not saying it's all companies, but some companies are definitely trying to do this. So understand, when you purchase anything, it is an emotional experience. That's a very important point for you to understand. You buy anything, it's a very emotional experience. Now, there are levels of emotion that come into play here. If you buy, say, I don't know, an apple at the supermarket, there's very low emotional connection. However, if you're buying your first house or your long-term home, there's a lot of emotion involved in that. So what companies will do is they will let you test things. So if you think about buying a car, um, your car dealer will allow you to test drive it. Why do they do that? Because they want you to like the car and have an emotional attachment to it. So suddenly you have a little bit of, you have bought in a little bit of wanting the car. You've driven it, you like it, the emotional attachment is there, and suddenly, that makes it a lot easier to sell the product to you. So I think that's what's going on with some of these betas. And I really have a problem with that, because they need to call it something else for me personally, because I think beta testing is something else. Beta testing is helping the company, as I said earlier, fix their game and get it ready to launch. It's not about giving you access to the game so that you get an emotional attachment to the game and therefore put your hand in your pocket and buy it. And that's what I think is going on. And yeah, I think that just needs to be separated a little bit, or made a little bit clearer. Um, if we take that a step further, and I'd like to hear your feelings on this: early access. Early access. Is that pay to play? If I look at the new Call of Duty Cold War, Black Ops Cold War, and it says quite clearly in the marketing information, if you pre-order this game, you will get early access to the beta. Again, I question if that is a genuine attempt by the companies to get your feedback and get your input and get you to help them make a better game, or if that is just a marketing ploy so that you pay money. I don't think that is correct either. If you genuinely want to, us as gamers, help you improve your game, make it clear that that's what you're doing. With call it early access, call it something else, but I don't think we should have to pay for that. I do know that these companies pay people to test their products for them in-house, and that is a career that you can genuinely have in the gaming industry, which is a very highly technical job. But game testers is something else. We're doing it because we believe in the product and companies, and I think there's something that just doesn't sit quite right about having to pay to access a beta. And that also goes along with, it doesn't sit right with me when companies have launch betas and they split the player base between PlayStation and Xbox. I don't think that is correct either, but I think that may be a discussion for another day. And so to my last question about betas in games, and the use of the word beta in the gaming community. Games like PUBG and Players Unknown, if you don't know, Battle Royale game, and more recently Red Dead Redemption 2 Online, were in beta for quite a while, even after launch. Do you think that's correct? Should companies be allowed to do that? I think PUBG did actually, they definitely charged some money, I think, for that game, even though it was in the beta state. And it was in the beta state for a long time, I think about a year almost. I'm not even sure if it's come out the beta stage. I'd like to hear your comments and your feelings on that one. And I think my whole point about this is I want the companies that are selling us products to be a lot more transparent on these type of testing programs, what they're actually trying to achieve. If you remember back to Fallout 76, it was called the Break It Early testing program, and we all laughed. But at the end of the day, and you look back in retrospect, they launched the beta 3 or 4 weeks before the game launched, and it's they're still fixing it. I mean, it's pretty stable now, much better game than it was at launch, but it was a car crash, and I don't know why companies think that's acceptable. They're putting the reputations as a triple A game provider up in lights, and they produce a product that takes 12 months to that clearly needed another 12 months development. And the sad thing is we as gamers can help them do that, and we with closed betas, and these companies that genuinely want to have that game fixed use closed betas. Yeah, we're all here. You don't have to pay us anything. We'll do it for free, but just be transparent about what you're trying to do with your testing versus your marketing programs. Okay, that's all I had to say today. I hope you have some thoughts and some discussion emanates from this video. I needed to get it off my chest because it's been bugging me for a wee while now. And so I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, a like rating is always appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, please do so that you're up to date with everything that happens on the channel. And we'll catch you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya!